guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I posted last. I've just had a lot of stuff going on with work, life, and I'm sure a lot of you know how that goes. So the FD's been done for a minute and it's straight. There's really been no major issues with it. I do have an oil leak on the pan, but I'm honestly not too concerned about the little issues I'm having with the rotary, and that's because I have big plans to do a swap. So what you guys see in front of you, and some of you have already probably guessed, is I have an LS swap subframe for the FD. So this right here is a Sandberg subframe. I got it used from a guy local to me in Maryland. We met up one day, checked out the kit, decided I definitely wanted to do it. Here it is. So big updates for the FD coming are LS swap, and then there'll be another video shortly after this one talking about another big item that I purchased for the car. I kind of done things backwards. Got some things before I got the motor, but it's all good. Sandberg isn't really making these kits anymore, and they're kind of hard to come by now, and people are starting to jack up the price. So I thought I'd get in and get one early and sit on it for a little bit if I had to. Honestly, the main plan is to drive the FD to H2O this year, and then when I come back in the beginning of October, put the motor up for sale, see who wants it, and then start the LS swap at that point. So let's talk about the kit a little bit. What you get with the Sandberg kit is a completely custom subframe that bolts into the stock location subframe. Then I have a big box of parts right here, and I'll go through it for you. These right here are subframe. Hold on. Sorry about that. Subframe spacers. So these are subframe spacers. So they basically go here, and with the bolts that are supplied, it lifts the steering rack up. I said subframe, I apologize. They're steering rack spacers. It lifts them up so it can clear. Also puts the rack back in the location it's really supposed to be, and that's what these things are for. So basically they space the rack up. Then we got these lovely things, which are welded camber bolts. So essentially, Sandberg supplies you some camber plates, these like moon shapes up here, for you to weld onto your stock camber adjustment bolts, and then they just go right here, as you can see, on the subframe, and that's how you adjust the camber and stuff like that on the FD. So you get the like I said, you get the little moon shaped things that you have to weld on. Luckily, the kit I got, it was already done. So then next up in the kit is the tranny mount. So this is the rear tranny mount for the T56 transmission. I do not have one at this time. I do plan to get one, but pretty simple tranny mount. There you go. All right. So next up, this is not part of the kit, but this is from Sicky. The stock steering rack, steering hub, I'm not really 100% sure, has a lot of slop in it, and so this thing kind of tightens it up. So it's just a nice little piece, picked it up for cheap. Someone's parting out one of their cars. All right, these right here are the bump steer kits. Yep, bump steer kits. These right here are for the transmission. So when you put the motor in the car with the transmission bolted up, and then you go to put the mount up as well, you need to kind of find the location where it all sits, and then these will bolt on the inside of your car underneath the carpet so that you can tap into the mount. So if you ever have to remove the transmission and stuff again, the motor, and you have to pull it out of the car, it's easy because these are bolted to the inside of your chassis, and then they connect to the outside of the mounts here. So you can remove the transmission, you can remove the brace without having to take those out, without having to remove your carpet, etc., etc. So it's a pretty cool design. You do have to do a little bit of custom drilling and stuff like that, but it's nothing too hard. These things right here are the pedestals for the mount on the LS engine. So pretty simple there, pedestals. Bump steer, some more bump steer correction kit stuff. And then the last little bit is the biscuits, the LS biscuits for the motor mounts and stuff like that. And then just some hardware stuff that I have. So it's a pretty legit kit. There is one thing that I was missing from this kit because again, I bought it used. I think I'm the third owner of this kit at this point, and as you can see, the steering rack spacers were in some nice packaging. Is because I had to go actually buy those brand new because this kit was missing the steering rack spacers, and it's also missing the rear diff brace. So there is like this brace bracket thing for the rear diff. It's to support the rear diff when you remove the factory 13B rotary transmission. It kind of has like this bar support arm that runs from the transmission to the rear diff, and that's how it supports itself. It's kind of unique, kind of different. So when you do the T56 LS swap, that like bar support goes away, so you have to do the brace that Sandberg made. Well, unfortunately, I don't have it, so we have a couple options. One, I try and find a used one, which it's really not worth it because people are going to want to arm and a leg. I go on Sicky's website and I just get their version of the same thing that Sandberg made, but it seems to be a little bit more robust, gives you a little bit more support. Or I just go get an 8.8 Ford rear end kit from Ronin, and basically we drop the rear subframe out, we reinforce it with the 8.8 kit, we put in a Ford rear diff, and I think the axle cups and stuff. I gotta look into it more. I can't remember what it has, but you have this really robust rear end now that can support a ton of torque, ton of power, and some better options for the diff for gearing and stuff like that. So tons of stuff, guys. There's gonna be tons of work coming on the FD. Nothing right away because again, I'm kind of slowly gathering parts. I was going to do a JZ kit, but I was going to do a 2JZ or 1JZ swap, but then I decided after kind of adding everything up, it wasn't worth it. The pricing was just too expensive. Things were starting to get way over budget for what you really needed to make 600-700 in a JZ. And then when I was talking to a couple people what they were doing on stock LSs, it was just kind of a no-brainer cost to power. So I have a couple of JZ parts I got to sell off, and then I'm going to get some more stuff powder coated and whatnot. But this is the start of it, guys. Tons of stuff coming. There's going to be another video showing some other stuff that I just bought. And then sometime around October, November, I'm going to go get a motor. So thanks for watching, guys.